Good morning, teachers. Today I would like to summary what we have learned up to now before the midterm test. Now let's start with chapter 1, Introduction of Management. First is about organization. It's a collection of people working together to achieve a common purpose. Organization provide useful goods and service that return value to society and to satisfy customer needs. An organizational performance is about productivity and overall measurement of the quantity and quality of work performance with resource utilization taken into account. Next one is performance effectiveness, an output measure of task or goal accomplishment. And the last one in organizational performance is performance efficiency, is an output measure of the resource cost associated with goal accomplishment. About the manager, is the one who directly supports, activates, and is responsible for the work of others. A manager who are the ones whose tasks represent the real work of the organization. A manager should have management skill consists of 3 skills. First is technical skills, the job-specific knowledge and techniques needed. Human skills, ability to work well with other people individually or in a group. And the last one is conceptual skills, ability to work and to conceptualize about abstract and complex situations. There are 3 types of managers: top managers, middle managers, and line managers. The management process is 4 steps. First is planning, the process of setting objectives and determining what actions should be taken to accomplish them. Next one is organizing, the process of assigning tasks, allocating resources, and coordinating work activities. The third one is leading, the process of arousing people's enthusiasm to work hard and direct their effort to achieve goals. The last one is controlling, the process of measuring work performance and taking action to ensure desired results. Now let's move to the chapter 2, History of Management. There are 3 approaches, and the first approach is classical management approaches. First is scientific management by the Gilbert. This management types emphasize careful selection and training of workers and supervisor support. The second one is administrative principles by Henry Fayol. It includes foresight, organization, command, coordination, and control. Principle guide to management in these types. First is scalar chain. There should be a clear and unbroken line of communication from the top to the bottom of the organization. Unity of command. Each person should receive orders from only one boss. Unity of direction. Each person should be in charge of all activities with the same performance objective. The next management types is bureaucratic organization by Max Weber. First is bureaucracy, an ideal, intentionally rational, and very efficient form of organization based on the principle of logic, order, and legitimate authority. The characteristic of this type is clear division of labor, clear hierarchy of authority, formal rules and procedures, impersonality, and career based on merits. Next, the second approach is behavioral management. Okay. The second approach is behavioral management. The first one is Maslow's theory of human needs. A need is a physiological or psychological deficiency a person feels compelled to satisfy. There are 5 needs levels. First is physiological, is basic needs like food, water, and physical well-being. The second is safety. The third one is social esteem and self-actualization. The next type is Maslow theory X and Y. Theory X assumes that workers dislike work, lack ambition, are irresponsible, resistant, and prefer to be led. Theory Y assumes that workers are willing to work, capable of self-control, willing to accept responsibility, imaginative and creative, capable of self-direction. The third approach is modern management foundation. It's mainly discussed about evidence-based management, making management decisions on hard facts about what really works. Evidence-based positive human resource management practice are employment security, selective hiring, self-management teams, high pay based on merit, training and development, reduce status, distinction, share information. Now we have done the chapter 2 and let's move on to the chapter 5, global management. Global management is managing in organizations with business interests in more than one country. The culture and global diversity. First is about silent language of culture. Context. Low context culture emphasize communication via spoken or written words. High context culture rely on non-verbal and situational cues as well as on spoken or written words. About time. Monochronic cultures are people who tend to do one thing at a time. Polychronic cultures, time is used accomplished by many different things at once. About the space, proxemics is the study of how people use space to communicate. In the US, people value personal space. Many Latin and Asian cultures expect much less personal space. Tie and loose culture is the strength of norms that govern social behavior. Tolerance of any deviance from norms. Tolerance for any deviance from norms. Japan and Korea are the countries with tight culture, and Brazil and Hungary are the countries with loose culture. The value and national culture. Power distance is about the doctor and the driver, how we see them. Uncertainty avoidance is degree of tolerating risk. Individualism and collectivism are the ability to work with groups or work in individual. Masculinity and femininity are male and female. Time orientation is about short-term thinking and long-term thinking. Now we have done the chapter 5 and move on to the chapter 8. Planning processes and techniques. Chapter 8, planning processes and techniques. Planning process. First is define your objectives. 2. Determine where you stand with these objectives. 3. Develop premises regarding future conditions. 4. Analyze alternatives and make a plan. 5. Implement plan and evaluate results. The benefits of planning are improved focus and flexibility, improved action orientation, improved coordination and control, planning and time management. Types of plan. First is long-range and short-range plans. Second is strategic and tactical plans. Strategic plans is focused on the organization as a whole or major components. Long-term plan. Tactical plan or functional plans in business consists of production plans, financial plans, facilities plans, logistic plans, marketing plans, HR plans, and the last one is operation plans. Guide behavior and describe what needs to be done in short term to support strategic and tactical plans include standing plans and single-use plans. Planning tools and techniques, forecasting the process of predicting what will happen in future. Contingency planning identifies alternative action to take when things go wrong. Scenario planning identifies alternative future scenario and makes plans to deal with each. Benchmarking use external and internal comparison to plans for future improvement. Staff planning get the staff with right skills and number of people involved in planning process. Let's move on to the chapter 9, control processes and systems. Importance of controlling. Controlling is the process of measuring performance and make sure things turn out as intended. After action view is a systematic assessment of lessons learned and results accomplished in a complete project. Types of control. First is feed-forward control. Ensures that direction and resources are right before the work begins. Take place before a work activities begins. Concurrent control. Focus on what happened during the work process. Make sure things are being done according to the plan. Feedback control takes place after an action is complete. Focus on the quality of end results. Internal and external control. Self-control occurs through self-discipline in fulfilling work and personal responsibilities. Consists of unlocking, allowing, and supporting it. Bureaucratic control influence behavior through authority, policies, procedures, job description, budgets, and day-to-day supervisions. Clan control influence behavior through norms and expectations set by the original culture. Market control influences of market competition on the behavior of organizations and their members. The control process, there are 4 steps in control process. Step 1, establish objectives and standards. Step 2, measure actual performance. Step 3, compare results with objectives and standards. Step 4, take corrective action. Control tools and techniques. Project management, make sure that activities required to complete a project management. Make sure that activities required to complete a project are planned well and accomplished on time. Techniques are Gantt charts and CPM parts. Inventory control ensure that inventory is only big enough to meet immediate needs. Break-even analysis perform what-if calculation under different revenue and cost conditions. Financial controls, a balance sheet show assets and liabilities at one point in time. An income statement show profit or losses at one point in time. Balance scorecard tells organizational performance in financial, customer service, internal process, and innovation and learning areas. Now I have covered all the 5 chapters for the midterm test. Thank you for your attention.